Ladies and gents, if you're looking at a brand new 2024 redesigned Chevrolet Traverse, this is the video for you. I have all four trim levels here. We start with an LS trim, which is the first truck we're going to go over. Then we have the LT trim here, which is the next level up. Then we go to the Z71, which is the all-new trim for the Traverse, more of like an off-road style and capability with that vehicle. And then we have the RS, which is like the sportiest one of the bunch. It is fully loaded. Everything that comes standard in everything that becomes available, I should say, in the Traverse is standard in this RS trim. We even have an LT Midnight Edition. The Midnight Edition gives you that blacked out look, black wheels, and you can get this package on either the LS or the LT trim. So let's start with some of the basics, right? All the Traverses are the same size. They do come in either a front wheel drive or an all-wheel drive variant, and they're all powered by the same all-new 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This all-new 2.5 liter engine puts out 328 horsepower, 326 pound-feet of torque, and it's linked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, I know what you're thinking, all new. Do we want something that's all new? But don't worry, because we've had our Turbo Max 2.7 liter turbo engine in our full-size Silverado going on 4 years now. It's been very successful for GM, and a lot of the lessons learned with this engine and the technologies in this engine are in that new 2.5 liter in the Traverse. The main thing that you have to know is when you hop in the vehicle, you put your foot on the gas to merge in, climb hills, drive on a highway, accelerate off a green light. It doesn't matter what it is. This is going to reach its torque at very low RPMs because of that turbo, and it's going to give you the power you need to accelerate with your family and cargo in the truck. Now, the first trim we're checking out here is the LS. This is our base model, our standard model. So everything you see in this vehicle, you will also see similar equipment or substitutions as we get to the higher trims. So what you want to see is that this vehicle does come with factory remote start as standard equipment. It also has a power tailgate as standard equipment. As you look in the back here, you'll notice this particular model has the accessory cargo net. You have some nice hidden storage underneath your floor with your carpeted floor mats, because this one has the all-weather liners, and you can see you have a decent amount of cargo space behind the third row with the third row up. Now, if you want to put part of the third row down, you pull this strap like that, you push forward, and you can drop that seat down. You can also do the same thing, obviously, on this side. Pull the strap, push forward, and drop that seat down. The second row seats, you can see the headrest got a little bit hung up on there. The second row seats do move forward and back, I think about 4 inches. So wherever you need leg room, you could adjust for that. If you need more leg room in the back for your passengers in the third row or in the second row. By the way, this is an LS trim, so if you need an 8-passenger seating configuration, meaning 2 in the front, 3 in the middle, 3 in the back, the LS is the way to go, or it's optional on the LT, the next trim over. The LT would come standard with the bucket seats in the second row, which I'm going to show you in a second. You can, of course, fold the second row seat flat as well. You're just going to pull that handle. Same thing on the opposite side, so now you have a expansive amount of cargo space if you have to move items around. And then when I go to the other side, I just want to show you real quick, you can do what's called our Smart Slide seat, which all you do is pull on this handle and you can slide the seat forward with a front-facing car seat still latched in to give you access to get into that third row. And when you need that third row back up, you just pull the straps and you can lift these seats right back up. You're also going to notice you have a left, a right, and now new for the 2024 redesign, a center headrest for your center passenger. Also in the back seats here, you'll notice you have controls for climate. You have USB-C chargers in the second row. You also have USB-C chargers in the third row, and you have ceiling vents throughout the entire vehicle as well as floor vents. So with your tri-zone driver, passenger, and rear climate settings, everybody's definitely going to be comfortable. Now, keeping in mind that we are still in the LS front-wheel drive standard model of the Traverse, let's talk more about standard features, right? Now, we all know we're gonna have power windows, power mirrors, power locks. That stuff is pretty self-explanatory these days. But a heated steering wheel, standard in the base model. Heated cloth seats, standard for driver passenger in the base trim. These are features that are usually in our LT or above model, so they really decided to dress up and add some of those creature comforts that we love to the base standard LS, not to mention this beautiful 11-inch screen right in front of me where I can toggle to different displays depending on what information I want. Do I want Google Maps? Do I want my safety assist features? Do I want just a simple layout with a speedometer? Do I want to have more options like clock, time, date in my audio with my speedometer and tachometer? So you have some options here, which is great. And you also have a standard 17.7-inch infotainment screen here, which is phenomenal. It's super fast. I always like pointing to the nav with Google Maps because the zoom and the quality of how quick this system works is phenomenal. Now, you do have a Google-based system here, which means you can use Google's suite of products, Google Assistant, the Play Store, those sort of things, with a subscription after your 1-month free trial. However, you also have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can also just pair your cell phone to this and use your phone for Google Maps, Waze, Pandora, Spotify, all the things that you love, that you use on a daily basis. Another great standard feature on the Traverse, our camera. It gives us our bird's eye view. You have your front camera, you also have a back camera, you have your overhead views. This is all standard equipment, and what I really like is you can customize this, so I can add this camera button up to the top menu bar. So no matter what screen I'm in, let's say I'm looking at Google Maps here, I pull into my driveway and I want to see my camera, I could just hit that one button and bring it right up. Makes it super easy. There's really a lot of customizing you can do on this system to make sure what you see is the stuff that you use, you know, on a daily basis. There's a lot of great safety features in this vehicle as well. So if I open the window here, you'll see that this little symbol here will light up when someone's in your blind spot. That's blind spot warning. You'll also notice this has a heated mirror indicator because these mirrors are powered. They're also heated, which is great for the winter climates where if you have snow and ice, it'll melt off those windows. If we go into our settings, let's go to vehicle and let's go to collision detection systems. We have alert types. You'll notice you have beeps or safety alert seat vibrations. Let's say you're backing out of your driveway, right? And someone's coming from the right-hand side towards your vehicle. You may not see them yet, but the safety systems may, and it can actually vibrate your seat on the right-hand side to let you know someone's approaching from that way. And it does it on the right and left. Or like I said, you can choose to go to beeps if you'd rather the beep. But you have, that's your alert type. You have emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking. You have side cyclist alert, lane change alert. You have park assist with braking and rear cross traffic braking. So now as you're backing up, you have those systems which can actually apply brake for you. This way you don't hit whatever's behind you, just in case you didn't see it. And you even have a rear pedestrian alert, which again will give you alerts on your screen and also seat vibrations left and right. So there's an amazing amount of safety equipment built into these vehicles, again, in the standard LS front wheel drive trim. So if it's here, we know it's going to be in the other trims that we're going to talk about in a little bit. Another important feature in the car is storage space, right? So obviously things like a glove box is going to be standard. You have that. You're always going to have a center console with storage in it. Right here we have a little forward section here for storage. We have our cup holders. We have a section here for storage, which would be for phones or the available wireless charger. But my favorite is the storage underneath the cup holders, which is a great place to put, you know, a purse or anything maybe that you carry all the time. You can kind of drop it underneath there and forget about it. And you have storage on your doors, which is for, you know, your bottle holders and stuff like that. So plenty of places to put things that you and the family carry around. So just to recap, if you're looking for like the budget-friendly Traverse, this is what you would get, the LS. Again, this is a front wheel drive. You can get it in all-wheel drive. And the only package you can add to the LS at this point in time is the Midnight Edition, which would essentially make it look just like this. Now, if you compare the look of this to the RS, they look just as cool. Like this is a good looking vehicle. Now this one is an LT Midnight, but you really can get a real sharp looking vehicle and save yourself a bunch of money. Next up, we're going to talk about the LT. We have a front wheel drive trim here in beautiful radiant red metallic. Now, this does obviously come in all-wheel drive. Everything we discussed on the LS is basically in this vehicle with some additions. The number one reason why people choose to go with the LT trim over the LS is right here in the second row. This is where you can get captain's chairs or the second row bucket seats. They do move forward and back, they fold flat, and you actually get the smart slide feature on both passenger and driver side. So you have a little bit more capability here. People seem to like these with a family because if they have children in car seats, other children can kind of pass through the middle to get to that third row. This also does add a 110 style power outlet here. So you have your USBs as well as a regular plug to plug in devices or keep things charged. On the inside, there's only a couple things that we're going to add on an LT. One is going to be a powered driver's seat. So you'll have that ability, which you cannot get in the model below it. You also will have that wireless charging pad that we mentioned earlier. Other than that, everything here is pretty much going to be laid out and look exactly the same. The other thing with the LT trim is there are some options you could add. For instance, if you want the huge panoramic sunroof, you can add that on the LT. You could also add the enhanced driving package, which is the big package that gives you Super Cruise. Now, Super Cruise steering wheels, you'll notice, have like a different kind of bar here with a green light that lights up. That's what will also steer you with your cruise control on the accepted roads that have already been, I guess, pre-driven and pre-planned in the software. I think they're up to like 500,000 miles worth of roadway in the US. That package would also give you your rear camera mirror, where this mirror, rather than just being like a day-night, would actually be a mirror versus a screen. It gives you automatic parking assist, and it gives you Bose stereo speakers, so you'll get the up-level stereo in that package. Other than that, the only thing you could add is what we talked about earlier, that Midnight Edition, and you got yourself a very nice vehicle with second row captain's chairs. I should also mention, as we look at the two models here, the LS on the right, the LT on the left, you'll see some slight differences with chrome trim on the front grille. You know, the way things are kind of dressed up a little bit. And the main thing, which I should mention, if you need to put a roof rack or anything on the roof of the vehicle, the LT and above comes with the side rails that you can mount the crossbars to from General Motors. If you go with the LS trim, you do not have that. So you'd have to put some sort of an aftermarket rack on top of the LS trim if you wanted crossbars. LT and above, standard. Now on to arguably the two more popular trims at the moment, the Z71, which is all new, more of an off-road style, all-terrain tires, twin clutch all-wheel drive, you know, a little more capable to go on dirt roads, gravel roads, those off-road adventures you might take. You even get about an inch more height on this vehicle compared to the other trims. And then we have the RS, which I like to think of like the street performance version. 22-inch black wheels that look phenomenal, real aggressive, bold styling, you know, beautiful vehicle, and not to mention fully loaded. The RS comes literally with everything. There's nothing you could add, nothing you could really take off. It's like a $57,000 MSRP. It's going to have the sunroof. It's going to have Super Cruise. Like I said, the 22-inch wheels. It has it all. And if you want just a truck with everything, you can go with that RS. On the Z71, you have options. You can add the sunroof. You can add the enhanced driving package that we talked about. Those things do not come standard. Even cloth interior is standard in a Z71, and you can upgrade to our Evotex, which is our synthetic trim. It feels just like leather. However, it is not. It's a synthetic, and you could add that for like $1,000 as an option. But let's take a look at these as far as styling. Again, Z71, all-terrain tire, specific 18-inch wheel, a little bit of a different front fascia. When you look at it, it's designed differently to give you better approach angles. So your tires are exposed more if you were to go any kind of off-roading where you had to kind of crawl over rocks or any kind of obstacles. You have your red tow hooks, which is pretty much a staple of our off-road trims. You have the big bold grille with like the black chrome trim, black bow tie, and even black emblems, you know, along the side. And even if we go on the back here, you'll see your Traverse, your all-wheel drive emblems are all blacked out. Another thing that's blacked out on these is your roof rails and also your window surrounds. When we go back over to the LT and the LS, you'll see chrome front grille and chrome trim around your windows. So it gives you that nice dark stealth out look that people love. Looks great with the white on black contrast really does. It looks great. It looks phenomenal. Inside the second row of the Z71 and the RS for that matter, you will only see second row captain's chairs. You cannot get it with a bench. And when you hop in the front here, you'll notice you do have power seat, of course, because anything from the LT and above, you're going to see that. You have some nice Z71 embroidery in the seats, red and white stitching. You know, they really did a nice job with the interior on this, and they did a nice job with these red accents. Now, people comment about the red because in print, sometimes it looks very bright. It's sort of bright here, and then it gets dimmer as it goes down because you have more red, less black. Now you have more black, less red. Even on your front dash, it's not that bold. When you're in the vehicle, it looks brighter in photos. So a lot of times I'll hear people like, I don't like the red trim. When you get inside the vehicle, I think you'll like it. I think you'll see that it's subtle enough that it gives you a sporty look without being overbearing. I mentioned in the last model that the enhanced driving package with Bose stereo, Super Cruise, and the rear camera mirror is optional in the LT. It is also optional here in the Z71. It is standard in the RS next to us. the Super Cruise wheel, that's how you tell real quick. You can see you got that light bar there. You also have your sensor here, which is part of that system. So you have a button here, you press this button. Right now it's gonna say unavailable because we're not driving. If you're not on a road that's pre-programmed to handle the Super Cruise system, it'll just tell you it's unavailable, but you can still use your adaptive cruise control, which will essentially mirror the car in front of you. So set it for 65, the car in front of you slows to 40. This is gonna slow down, keeping that proper distance. That distance you could actually adjust with your forward collision button here. So you can adjust how soon, how late you want warnings, or also how close you'll get to the car in front of you. Everything up here pretty much is gonna look similar to what we've been talking about. Again, the Z71, it's all about off-road and taking it maybe on dirt roads, gravel roads, more of an off-road lifestyle. So you do get that off-road suspension like we talked about earlier. And also what I failed to mention on the front here, if we kind of hunker down underneath the vehicle here, you're gonna see you have actual functional skid plates as well. So it really, again, it really makes it prepared for more of an off-road style driving. Also on the back bumper here, if we remove our plate, you'll notice you do have a 2-inch receiver with wiring because Z71s and RS do come standard with the trailering package. Last but definitely not least, especially least expensive, the RS trim, our fully loaded model. Look at the front end. We talked about the boldness of the front grille here. Everything is blacked out. You have you know, just a super aggressive sporty feel to this. You can see those LEDs are flashing. Everything's LED as far as you know, headlights, daytime running lights, turn signals. This is in a beautiful lakeshore blue, but you'll notice you have the black full painted surrounds on your body panels and stuff like that, whereas the other trims were actually plastics. So you have a little bit more of an upgrade there. Plus you have those huge black 22-inch wheels. I want to show you in the back here the tail lights, because they are slightly different. Obviously they're gonna light up red, but on the RS trim you have like a white look when they're off. So it gives you, you know, just a little difference to set it apart from the other trims. Plus again, full paint along the bottom bumper here in black, just like your roof rack cross rails. Just really nice vehicle. And again, when we look inside here, this is a full leather interior. It's not the Evotex. It's got a ton of different little accents on it, red stitching, little RS in the headrest there. You got your red little red trim going down the back and down the seat. Stitching on the steering wheel, flat bottom steering wheel, which is typical to our RS trims. This one, Super Cruise is standard, so you have your Super Cruise wheel. Really just a beautiful setup. Same red accents like you have in the Z71. You'll notice you do have a memory seat in this vehicle. You also have power folding mirrors in this trim. You even have the power tilting telescopic wheel, and your wheel, your seat, your mirrors, all that will correspond with your memory. And if you want any of those features, you have to go to the RS trim because it is not available in the trims prior. They all have a manual tilting telescopic wheel. This one again, power with memory. Let's get her fired up here. Rear camera mirror we just talked about before. Second row bucket seats, again, the only way you can get the RS trim, and you even have the accents on the second row buckets. Second row buckets are heated, and front seats are both heated and ventilated in the RS. I had to wait till the last vehicle to show you, but here's that available sunroof in the LT and the Z71. Again, standard here in the RS. It does tilt up and open all the way. And you have a power shade you can close, which would obviously cover that window completely. Look at that, it's amazing. The actual, the benefit of the sunroof is really for the people in the second row. They get the best view. I can just hop in the back here. I can recline this seat back. I got my armrest, I'm nice and comfortable. I got my heated seat control, my climate controls, and look at that view. You get a nice view above you and in front of you, and I'm 6'5". I didn't mention this yet. Look at the leg room. I have just about an inch here. Now, I was just sitting in this front seat where I was comfortable. So this is something that's gonna be very comfortable for you and your family, and with all the adjustability, again, moving the seats forward and back. At 6'5", I can actually fit in the third row as well. Check it out. I mean, I got headroom here. My knees are just scraping the seat, but with the buckets, I can always throw a leg here. You know, it's comfortable. I have vents here that I could use to keep myself nice and cool. It's actually a comfortable vehicle. And again, I'm 6'5". The average person is not this height, which means they're gonna fit back here more comfortable than I am. And realistically, if I had to sit here for, you know, an hour or so, a couple hours on a road trip, it wouldn't be horrible. Like, I would be able to get it done. As we walk to the back here, reminder, this does have a power lift gate. It actually also has what's called auto sense, where if you walk up and the key's on you, it'll beep to let you know, and then basically it'll open itself without doing anything, just being close. You have the same storage here in the back, same hidden storage underneath we talked about earlier, same third row setup. However, we have power buttons now, so we can actually power fold these seats rather than use those straps like we had to do in the other 3 trims. You can bring them down that way. You also have buttons here to power the second row down. So if you went to the store, that seat obviously too far back, the headrest is hitting. That is one of the flaws in these vehicles. This one I have far back because obviously I'm a tall guy, so when I do that, it doesn't allow that to go completely flat. The same thing goes for the second row. If those seats aren't in more of a forward position, when you try to drop that third row, those third row headrests are going to hit the back of the other seat, and it's going to slow it down or make it harder to push them flat. So sometimes you just have to slide the seat forward a little bit, and then it'll continue on its journey to that flat position. But once you fold all those seats down, you got a great amount of cargo space here to carry anything that you might have to carry. And our third row, we can just press these 2 buttons, we can power that right back up. Second row has to be brought up manually at the seat. You cannot do it power. So we're just going to open the door, and we're going to lift this up just like that, and lift this up just like that. There we go. In the RS trim and the RS only, you do get a power passenger seat, so you have a little bit more adjustability and comfort maybe for your passenger. Just look at the view of these screens. Now they are angled a little bit towards the driver, but it's definitely highly visible to the passenger as well. Just a great vehicle, great layout, and I know it's going to be a great seller for us here at Chevrolet. This is a quick overview, kind of like a 2024 Traverse 101. Give you a layout of some of the different options, some of the different packages, and what's available, how it's equipped. If you have any questions at all, please put them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them all and get the information out to you. And if you're in the North New Jersey area, I work here, Schumacher Chevrolet of Livingston in Livingston, New Jersey. My name's Dave B. I've been selling vehicles here for 18 years. I'd be happy to help you out. Very easy experience, no pressure, very informative. You come down and see me to buy a car, you're gonna be very happy.